Hello, everyone. Konnichiwa. I am Brian. I'm here in Japan, kind of. And I have been trying to figure out how I can document this adventure. This is not my first time in the country, but it is my most recent time. And I am stuck in quarantine. So I have a lot of time on my hands, especially over the weekend. It's Sunday here in Japan, Sunday morning. For most of you, it is Saturday night as you're getting ready to set your clocks back. Here in Japan, there is no daylight savings time because they don't think it makes sense. No, I don't know. I don't know the history of why Japan doesn't have daylight savings time, but they don't have daylight savings time, so I don't have to worry about setting my clock back, which I think means I kind of I get screwed out of an hour. I don't know. I don't know how this time stuff works. If you've never watched these before, if you're on Facebook and you're like, "Why is Brian on this channel? What's going on?" I used to do these Japanese video lessons. Basically, I was doing this program called Wanikani, and hey, Anthony, konnichiwa from Japan. I used to do these lessons, and it was basically just me doing my homework. And I stopped doing it for a while. Ooh, I'm not going to move the table. I stopped doing it for a while because I just got really busy with work. And curling finally came back, and all the things that I used to do out of quarantine, when we didn't have quarantine, came back. Quarantine, of course, I mean back in the States, quarantine, which is never really quarantine, but you know. And so I got away from it, but now I am back stuck and have nothing but time for at least another week. So I thought, well, I'll get on live stream. I'll say hi to my friends and just sort of talk about my experiences getting out here. Um, let's see. I flew into the country on Monday, Monday West Coast time, which became Tuesday Japan time. I flew out of Seattle, and it was a direct flight. Thank God. Having done plenty of stopovers, layovers, coming from the East Coast to Japan. It was really nice that I didn't have to do that this time. So I took a direct flight from SeaTac. I got into Haneda, pretty much like early afternoon Japan time. And on the way in, the flight was fantastic. This was a Delta flight. It was not busy at all. In fact, there was like nobody on the flight. I think there were other people, but everyone had their own row, which was fantastic. So I basically got to stretch out. I sit on the window side. I like to see out the window because I have flight anxiety, and that seems to help me. Though I will tell you, when it's just clouds you're looking down at, it's a little less exciting. Anyway, long story short, flew in, nice flight, very laid back, a little bit of turbulence, but not enough to make me too upset. Turbulence is my worst fear of flying. It's just irrational. Nothing specific about the actual turbulence. Just the sort of disconcerting feelings that you get when you're flying and you start to bump around. Anyway, so I got in, and as soon as we got off the plane, there was questionnaires, and obviously your typical disembarkation card. Is that right? And your customs form. That's standard. But then you have a COVID questionnaire you have to fill out. And I should back up. Prior to this, 72 hours prior, I had to get a COVID test in Seattle. And of course, because I work for the military, I had to go down to Tacoma, to an Army base, to an Army hospital, and get a COVID test there because they would do the official paperwork to get into the country of Japan. And that was a whole adventure unto itself. I will not get into because it's just a little whatever. But long story short, I got a COVID test before I got on the plane. Get on the plane, get to Japan, get off the plane. You fill out the survey on a form, like a traditional paper form, which they love. By the way, Japanese people, or Japanese government, I should say, loves paper documentation like nobody's business. It is insane. But yeah, so you fill out the form. You then go online and fill out a form online as well. For some reason, they need both. And that generates a QR code. So you go and you take the QR code, and you're like, hey, here I am. And you go through, I am not exaggerating, at least 5 different stations within the international sort of section of the airport. For those of you who've flown internationally, usually you're in a separate terminal. You have to go down a long corridor of some kind. I swear Haneda's is the longest. And you go all the way down and you get stop, station, station, station. And each station you're showing different forms. You're showing your passport. You're showing your disembarkation cards. You're showing your COVID cards. Eventually show your COVID test form. And then you keep going. Then you get to a COVID testing station where you do a saliva test. And I was warned about this, but oh my gosh, you have to fill out or fill up a saliva, like a what do you call it, test tube, up to like a really surprisingly large amount. And if you've just come off a flight, you're usually dehydrated. So it's like, spitting is a little bit of a challenge. I drank a lot of water, still had a hard time. I also tried to use some of my Japanese, very little that I'm comfortable doing. And of course, as soon as you start speaking in Japanese, even a little bit, they get very excited and and they start talking to you and you're like, oh, no. But it was fun. I had a nice guy and he knew I was struggling a little bit. And he was like, mo, which means more, mo saliva. So I kept doing that and finally got enough saliva in the tube and gave it to the next station. Now I am here on what they call a SOFA clearance, and SOFA is it State Department or occupancy forces or something along the lines of you're on official government and or military business. So I did get to sort of skip ahead a little bit. If you are not coming in on a SOFA clearance, if you are not with the military, you do have to sit there and wait for your COVID test to come back negative. And I believe it takes up to 2 or 3 hours, maybe longer. So that's kind of awful. They are, of course, not letting a lot of people in the country right now either way. But if you have a business that'll sponsor you, or you have some other organization that sort of is why you're here, not under a tourist visa, but as an official like worker, there have been ways to get through that. So I got to skip that. I get to go straight to the next step, which was the traditional passport control and then customs. Did all that stuff, no problems. Actually, it was really easy. And then an hour after I got off the plane, I was dumped out into Haneda International Terminal. Now, I will say Haneda is an amazing airport. I love flying into Haneda. It's probably second only to Fukuoka. For me, is like one of my favorite airports in Japan. I don't like Narita for numerous reasons, but Haneda's got a great selection of shops, and it's just really well organized. I really like it. Plus, the Kyuko line is Kyuko or Keiko? Might be Keiko. Either way, is a subway line. It comes right from Tokyo, and you're right close to Tokyo, and then really close to the line that'll take you down to Yokosuka, which is where I am now. Couldn't take that, though, because when you are coming in, even under a SOFA clearance, any type of foreign entry into Japan right now, you cannot take any public transportation. That means no buses, no subways, no taxis, with some exceptions, I understand. So I had none of that. Which sucks because that's normally what I would do. I would get on the Keiko line and go south through Yokohama down into Yokosuka. It's about 45 minutes. It's easy. Couldn't do that. So I had to have a military, actually a Navy driver come pick me up, which we had arranged ahead of time. That was, relatively straightforward and, cool. I got a, chauffeured ride to the Navy base. But while I was waiting for them, I had kind of free reign to walk around the terminal. Because there are very few flights coming into the airport right now, there was nothing open. I found one shop that had some sweets and snacks, kind of like gift sets. So I got some of that. I also found the 7-Eleven that was open. Thank God. Thank heaven, 7-Eleven here. If you've never been to Japan, you'd be like shocked to know that 7-Eleven is ubiquitous. There's other types of what they call kombini, which is just their word for convenience stores. But 7-Eleven is the most, other than maybe Lawson or Family Mart, they are the most ubiquitous. Ohio, I should say Ohio. Actually, it's still we're past Ohio gozaimasu time. Ohio gozaimasu is traditional, like just good morning, but we're full on konnichiwa at this point. And for all of my friends back in the States, konbanwa, which is good evening. But konbanwa, Chris. So yeah, I got off the plane, wandered around, found some snacks, 7-Eleven, got my portable Wi-Fi hotspot, which you can't live without here. I have friends that actually use the T-Mobile like or Verizon like payment like as you go like once a day. I'm like, why? That's so stupid. Anyway, it was so cheap. I think it was $60, and I have like unlimited Wi-Fi for a month. So and I'm here until December, so it was perfect. Tell Ben that I am sorry. He is jealous, but I will do my best. I'm going to try this time more than previous trips to document and take lots of videos and pictures. The sucky part is my first 10 days of my trip is not that exciting. I will give you a quick tour of the Navy lodge that I am in right now, at least the room I'm in, to see how don't be so jealous. It's not great. Anyway, so I got my Navy driver. He picked me up after we had some little disconnects on where to go to pick me up. Also, by the way, there's just nobody at this airport. I've never seen it this dead. I have one picture I took of an archway, and it's crazy. It looks so different than I remember it, and not in a good way. But yeah, lovely drive down to Yokosuka. Got to go right past Yokohama, see the city. It's beautiful. Yokohama is one of my favorite cities, even more than Tokyo in some ways because it's just I don't know, it's pretty. And I'm gonna take a drink here in a second, but yeah, I got to get to my Navy Lodge on base around 6:30 Japan time. And I think I had been going at that point for about 15, 16 hours since I left Seattle. So I was starting to, crash. Also, if you hear sounds, it's because I had the window open. There's no air conditioning right now because it is cool season and it's a little nice out, but it's not like that cold. Um, so I crashed. Actually, I didn't crash right away. I think, yeah, I went over to the Chili's. I'm not kidding. There's a Chili's in the parking lot of this complex on base. And it is a nice location on base. We're right on Tokyo Bay. So hopefully one of the videos I'm going to shoot is right on the bay here and give you some kind of visuals of at least the nice view I have when I go outside. But yeah, so I got on base, got my Chili's, came back here, sat down, went through the television selections such as they are, mostly all American television, with the exception of two channels that have Japanese commercials. So I have been listening to and watching Japanese commercials as much as I can because I'm trying to immerse myself and learn the language. And my sensei actually, like, when I had class this week online, she's like, oh, you should make sure you watch Japanese TV. And I said, I would love to, except that none. Oh, hey, Keith and Mikey. It is not that cold. I think it's in like the 50s and 60s right now. It's nice. I have to walk everywhere on base because you can't use shuttles or whatever until you're out of quarantine, which makes some sense, I guess. But the temperature is lovely, and I'm sorry I missed homecoming. I saw pictures, and I was very glad it went on. Mixed feelings, of course, but overall, glad things are opening up, and I'm glad COVID tests are not tests. COVID cases are down so low in Florida. I have a lot of friends here. Friends in Florida, of course, family. So wait, Mikey, when you say it's freezing, are we really talking like freezing, or are we talking like it's in the 60s? I feel like it's probably in the 60s. In Seattle, it was actually just above freezing when I left. So I don't want to hear it. And it's not going to be that cold here. Where I'm going next week, I'm going to Kyushu, which is southwest Japan. It will be a little warmer than here. So I'm going to be relatively comfortable. It's in the 50s. Oh, okay. Then it really is freezing. I mean, that's when everybody breaks out their parkas and their winter mittens. Also, Japanese Coke, it's basically the same. There's a few different flavors you'll find. They did not have my favorite, which is apple. I love apple Coke. It's bizarre, but I love it. But there is a satisfying sound that the bottles make that this one won't do it, but I'll have to get another one and just do like an ASMR because it is so satisfying in a way that I can't even. It's just there's a crispness to the release of pressure, if you will. So I'll have to do that on a video. Anyway, I have had now not one, not two, now 3 COVID tests. I had the one test I talked about, or both two tests that I've talked about, and I had a third one this morning at the Navy base here. They have like a little COVID testing center, and so all 3 are negative. that means that in 5 more days, I get to leave quarantine. Um, it's very thorough, and I'm actually lucky because I have a COVID vaccination. I actually got my booster before I left. I actually get to leave 4 days earlier. Oh my lord! Computer wants to update in the loudest way possible. I have a little bit of an earlier exit from quarantine, or what they call restriction of motion, or ROM. So I get to leave 10 days, whereas if you're not vaccinated, it's 14. The Japanese public is very highly vaccinated. They had a delayed start, but they're all in, like, I think over 70% nationally. So I'm pretty good, feeling, relatively good. COVID cases are very low right now. Yeah, so I've been basically stuck in my room. That's not entirely true. I've been able to leave my room to go around the base, again, walking everywhere. I've been working, so that's good. I got to do some work yesterday and the day before, which part of the reason I did my isolation and quarantine here as opposed to a hotel off base, which is an option, and a different base, is there's actually work I can do here. What my position and what I do for the Navy, I actually go to different classrooms and trainers, and I do software and hardware updates, and meet with the fleet and just talk about requirements and all this other boring stuff. But I chose this space specifically because I could do work. So I've been able to do a little bit. I've got more next week, thankfully. Otherwise, I really would get bored quickly. I've been, like I said, to my Japanese class the other day from here. So I got Japanese homework I got to work on. So that's going to keep me busy. I brought my Switch. So I've been playing a little bit Fortnite, basically, with my boyfriend. And we do that pretty much every night. Metroid Dread, I got that with me. I'll probably play that at some point. Yeah, that's about it. It's about all I've been doing. Hey, John, good to see you. Yeah, I started Dread before I left, and I figured I'd have a lot of time on my hands to play it. Chris, you did ask about a regional menu. Because we're on base, Chili's is all American. It is the exact menu you've got back home, down to the margaritas. And I enjoyed a few margaritas the other day. I also found that they have Asahi. And if you, I don't know, I'm a beer nerd, but I love Asahi as a just a basic kind of lager. So I get these giant Asahi dries that I'll have to take a picture of. So that'll be exciting. I mean, I'm going to probably do Chili's for dinner. I had some sushi for breakfast after I got my COVID test. I've had sushi a couple times now. This is the on-base sushi, so it's like equivalent to your restaurant sushi. I'm sorry, your grocery store sushi. So it's not great. It's not anything to write home about. They have ramen in the stores, like pre-made. I thought about getting some of those, but I'm trying to. I mean, not the sushi's low in sodium, but I've been trying to eat a little less of that processed sort of food. Having said that, I did have like fajitas twice at the Chili's, because that's about the only thing I really like there, other than maybe the salads. There is a convenience store within walking distance as well. Plus, and I'll try to get some video of this too, there's a lot of Japanese vending machines all over the base. So I brought plenty of yen just in case I knew I'd need it eventually. And I have been able to use a decent amount because they only take yen. I actually got money at the airport. I typically fly in and get money changed here. I think the conversion rate's usually better here than in the States, but I don't know. I never quite track that enough. And I don't need a lot. I mean, here it's like credit card and mostly, everybody takes cash, American cash. But when I leave the base next weekend, I was staying in Yokohama for 2 nights, and that is when I will start needing more yen. Japan has quite a lot of places that only take cash, yen. So it's kind of weird. Supposedly that's improved from the last time I was here 2 years ago because of the Olympics, I think, in this area. When I get down to Sasebo, I still don't expect everyone to take credit cards. So I'll, again, keep a pretty good stash of yen with me. Let me show you. Oh, I guess I got a couple Japanese snacks I can show you. I did, like I said, I go to the 7-Eleven and got a few snacks. So let me grab those real quick. Nothing too great. I got this, my favorite, what's it called? Kalbi? No. Pina? No. Pona? There's another term for this, and I cannot remember what it is. But it's like Ponaji or something. Anyway, these are great. They're little soy crackers. Nothing too great, but just, nice snack. Typically, you'll see these with peanuts in the bars. There's a term, and I can't remember what it is. Galbi pea or something. Anyway, so these are good. These were interesting. These are like some kind of potato chip. I don't know that kanji. I would say what it is. Kara. This is the problem with katakana. I've been getting better at my katakana. I know kara. That I cannot tell you what that is. Maybe it's karage. That would make sense. So this is karage. So this is like fried chicken flavored, maybe. I don't know. Either way, I don't believe that this has got any kind of actual meat, anything in it. Of course, everything is in Japanese on the back, so who knows? But very okay. Not nothing to write home about there. Candies, I kind of want to go get some Japanese candy just because I've wanted something sweet. I haven't found anything good in the vending machines. And then the mini marts, they call it that's the Nex, the Navy Exchange. The mini Nex here is very light on its Japanese candies. The commissary did have a little bit more of a selection, but nothing I was like compelled to haul back here. The commissary and the big Nex, they're like a 20-minute walk, so you got to kind of be judicious about what you're taking with you. Yeah, I mean it's a lovely day out. I'm gonna open this curtain. It's probably gonna like completely mess the light up. Oh yeah, you can kind of see one of the towers off in the distance. It's a bright sun. It was actually nice and overcast earlier. I had like I said, that lovely walk to get tested. Let me turn this around. You can see the room here. Uh-oh. I think I just broke the camera. We're going to see if that comes back. There we go. All right. Well, I'll have to make a video and send it or upload it because the camera's USB cable is very precariously attached to my computer. So I will post a few videos that I take, show you my room, do a little tour. It's kind of a wreck because I've been here since Tuesday and I've had no room service or room cleaning service. And that's because I'm in that quarantine or ROM state. So they don't want anyone coming in my room. So I have to leave my towels and such outside. I cleaned it up just in case I did a little video, but it's not anything I want to, show off right now. But yeah, I see that we've kind of dwindled down here. I know this is kind of like not the most exciting content in the world, but I wanted to get my setup sort of working and just make sure we're all good for streaming. And I have nothing better to do right now. I thought about doing more Japanese on here, but I've been actually doing less of the kanji because the kanji is great, but the class that I've been taking has been really pushing me speaking Japanese and listening. So I spent a lot more time just doing conjugation and sort of sentences and listening, a lot of listening exercises. And the kanji I do know has really helped, and I'm going to keep trying to do more of it. But I don't feel that it benefited me as much to do that as is the other stuff. So I don't know, maybe speaking, and certainly if there's a way to do like listening on camera for everyone's benefit, I think that'd be great. So I'll think about that. Maybe I'll do some more of that here while I'm in Japan. But otherwise, when I get out of quarantine, I didn't know you were stationed out here. I don't know where Yokota is. We'll have to talk or I'll have to look it up. That's so cool. I didn't know you were here. We should compare notes about our Japan experiences. But yeah, when I get out of quarantine, the goal is to do two things. In Yokosuka, before I leave for Yokohama, there is a onsen right on Tokyo Bay. It is very nice little onsen, very cheap. It is a decent bus ride away or a taxi. So once I'm out of quarantine, I can take both. I have to decide if I want to spend a little more money and get there quicker. It's not super far even, but it's a haul for the buses, uh, and I got to do that. Like that is like one of the best onsen experiences I've had in Japan. And I typically go to the bigger public ones, not like the private in the mountains. I want to do that in Kyushu if I can. But for now, this one here is just so convenient and really nice. So I got to do that, and then I've also got to get to a Don Quixote, which if you have been here in the last I don't know how many years since they opened, Don Quixote is it's like a Spencer's with a grocery store kind of and clothing. It's like if Walmart and Spencer's had a bizarre love child, but then they like crammed in just everything they could, and it's relatively inexpensive, and it's just they're fun stores. They have sex toys. I mean, we think of Japan as this very prudish culture, and in a lot of ways they are, but they sell sex toys in their Don Quixote stores, which are pretty common. So it's interesting. I always am fascinated by what you'll find in a Don Quixote. So there's one here in Yokosuka I got to go to. Food wise in this area, they're really known for their Navy curry, or Kaigun is Navy. I might check that out. I don't think I had it last time I was here, but there is a sushi place at the Yokosuka Chuo station, right at the bottom of the station, that is outstanding. It's really, really good sushi. So I'm going to definitely do that before I leave. And yeah, Yokosuka's it's fine. There's a lot of bars. I don't think I'll have much time to go out to the bars. There's a few izakaya that my friends have recommended, so I may be able to do that. But once I'm in Yokohama, I'm going to really try to spend just time in Yokohama, go up to Tokyo, maybe one evening to walk around. I do have one more night in Tokyo when I come back through here on my way out. So that'll be cool. I'll be staying in Ueno, which is right in the heart of Tokyo, which will be really neat. Tokyo, I kind of like exploring Tokyo. There's a lot of places to see. It's a crazy city, right? But I'm actually really excited about Kyushu because Kyushu is an area you don't see a lot of people go to, tourist and YouTuber wise. It's beautiful. It's very rural, very country, very mountainous, and a lot of it, the parts I spend time in are near the ocean. So I'm excited. I'm going to try to go. Well, I'm staying in Sasebo, which is another big Navy place, of course. I'm going to try to get down to Nagasaki for a few days. That's one goal. We'll see how I do. And I may or may not make it back up to Fukuoka. I'll be going through Fukuoka. It's where the Shinkansen or the bullet train takes you from Yokohama to Fukuoka. So I have my luggage with me, so I may or may not like wander around at least the train station for a little bit. There's a lot of cool little stores in the train station. But Fukuoka is an amazing city, and if I could get a few days in there, I would love that. It's probably my other. Yokohama is really good. Fukuoka is like one of my favorite cities that I've been to. I thought about Kumamoto down in Nagasaki or down in Kyushu. I've never been there. There's some kind of cool stuff there. There's a big volcano, Mount Aso, I believe, right there near Kumamoto. And it's evidently active and it has erupted recently. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. I feel like that's a little, I don't know, maybe dangerous. Not really. I'm not going that close to the volcano, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But Sasebo is beautiful. There's tons of stuff around Sasebo that I'm going to try to get some video on. I'm staying at the Quintessa Hotel, which is pretty nice, very nice view. Usually, hopefully, I get a good view. Sometimes I go there, I don't get the best view, but it's a nice walk to the base, really close. Lots of great shops and just cool places there. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to be here until early December. That will be that'll be when I come back to the States. And yeah, we'll be doing this again at some point. I don't know when. Hopefully, maybe get some interviews. I've got a few friends I might drag on here. We'll see if I can talk them into it. But that's all I think I've got. So thank you guys for hanging out for a little bit here, giving me something to do on this Sunday morning. I'm going to go explore my immediate surroundings here on base. But like I said, I'll try to get some more videos for you. What is Chris? What are you sending me? It looks like Nyan Cat, but like a gator or something. It's got like a green head to it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will be back. So until then, Jamata.